Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode of Coaching Conversations. And I wanted to make you aware of something very cool that we're doing on a subscription basis, and we'll put a link in each one of our episodes. But every Wednesday, we're going to be doing what we call an audio podcast workshop. That workshop will be roughly about 14 to maybe 20 minutes per episode, with each month having a theme from a coaching model, using feedback strategically, to coaching self-awareness, and so on. So if you could, look in the body or in the content description of each episode, and you will see a link where you can join this subscription. These are literally 4 workshops every month, teaching specific strategies to address a particular area of workplace coaching, as it relates, again, to things like awareness, motivation, teamwork, and what have you. Here's the cool thing. It's only $10 per month, and each month you will get a handout that we will follow along with. So we also give you a tool for you to take notes as we go through each episode. We hope you'll check it out.
Now, I think one of the greatest activities as a leader you can facilitate for the understanding of motivation, and we're kind of infamous for this, which is kind of self-proclaimed, but I think it's somewhat accurate, is whiteboard coaching. Think about a piece of paper right now and think about, and by the way, there's many adaptations of this model that I'm going to teach. But whiteboard coaching is when you think about columns 1, 2, and 3. Column 1 is your current state. So if I'm coaching you, I might say, well, currently, as it relates to your job, where do you feel like you have strengths? And where do you feel like you have opportunities to improve? You would write down 2 to 3 responses for strengths, then 2 to 3 responses where they have opportunities. Then I might ask, if you were to describe how you feel about your current job, would you love it? Would you like it? Would you somewhat dislike it? That gives you an apparatus of understanding if they're intrinsic or extrinsically motivated. Then you go all the way over to column 3, and then you say, what's your desired state? What does that look like? What would you be doing differently? What would you like to be doing more of? What strengths do you have in that area? And you get a picture of their desired state. So column 1, you get a snapshot of their current state. Now, the reason we start with strengths is so we build momentum in the conversation, use the word opportunities versus constructive feedback or weaknesses, and then the love, like, and dislike question. Go to column 3 and ask the question, what's your desired state? What would you be doing? Then you go to column 2. Now, the reason you go from column 1 to column 3, remember, most people lack self-awareness. Remember, the whiteboard's going to become your partner. The whiteboard is their mirror. They're actually, when they're looking at the whiteboard, they're looking at themselves. Now, I forget the statistic, but people will be more likely to change, willing to look in the mirror if they have a vision of how to get there. So it's really kind of cool when you think about it. So when you go to column 3 and you complete that, you then go back to column 2, which is called a psychological disrupt. It gets them to think differently. Then you ask, what do we need to do to move you in the direction of column 3? And what would you like from me? Now they've invited the coaching and the feedback. They've essentially co-authored or re-engineered their own change. Now, the reason they're willing to do that is they have a vision on the whiteboard. They're looking at the whiteboard. They're not looking at their boss, which can often lull people into, I better say the right thing because my boss is asking me. Now what they're really doing is focused on themselves. Here's the funny thing. Most people won't do this on their own. That's why everybody needs a coach. Whiteboard coaching is one of the best activities to not only ascertain motivation, but also develop the action steps to help the person with their motivation. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.